OPIN010, well, whatever it is on the tabs. I'm here with Colonel John Brown.
Sergeant Major.
Sergeant, well, I was going to get to all that.
Colonel, Kentucky Colonel.
A Kentucky Colonel, Sergeant Major in the Marine Corps, not of the Marine Corps.
No.
But he has held all the Masonic high positions that I know of. And very interesting. I mean, this is the most famous person I've ever interviewed. he's modest. You need scoot in a little bit more here. All right. Before we get into your Masonic career and your military career, I wanted to go back when you were younger. Like an experience, a traumatic experience, like a near-death experience. I mean, that thing that changed your life when you were younger.
I don't think my life ever changed.
You never changed.
I was on a path and I followed it. So
that's amazing right there.
I've had near death. Hell, I've got 3 Purple Hearts, but that didn't change me. I was born this way.
You were born this way, and you've been on a path. See, this is it. This is the consistency you knew from a young age. How young would you say?
Well, I'll attribute this to my father. And I was 19, I was in Vietnam, and my dad told me I should get out of the infantry, it's dangerous, and I knew all that. But I told him, I'm a squad leader, this is what's right for me. And he sent me a poem by a man named Ben Burroughs. It's called The Right Way. And it goes, there's no other way but the right way, all other ways are wrong. A person's aim must be true, or they will miss the gong. Yet many are the people who practice slipping by, looking for the shortcut, devoted to the lie. Many of them get ahead, at least at first it seems, but when the final curtain falls, they end with broken dreams. So go your way in righteousness and to yourself be true. There's no way but the right way. The choice is up to you. And that's how I've tried to live my life.
That is amazing. And I identify with that now. It took me a long time to find that right way. And that's why we're in the York Rite together. And so in the Marine Corps, you started in the infantry. You were in Vietnam. And most people don't want to talk about that.
I don't have any problem. I used to, but I don't now.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's over. I mean,
it is over. You did survive.
I have a hard time at the Vietnam wall. But
yeah, I did too, and I wasn't even there.
But I'm here and I'm happy, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Lord has been very good to you, and for good reason. You've been faithful, and that's what we all aspire to. Faithful
to my trust.
Faithful to your trust. That's beautiful, and so we're here to. I'm here to get your story, your personal story, and be an encouragement to Masons. Mostly Masons watch my channel and go watch the videos, and now that you're on it, they're going to go like, oh, it's John Brown, I want to see that. So what inspiration would you have, let's go military. So I've recently been put to military relations with the church, and we're dealing with young Marines, and young people today really lack a certain inspiration. And that poem, rewind, listen to it again. What was the name of it?
Called The Right Way by Ben Burroughs. I think he was from Pennsylvania, and I still have the little article. My dad cut it out, and I have it in a baseball card hardback thing.
Awesome.
And I've had that since 1968. I've carried it. and I've shared it with many, many people.
And what year do you think that was penned?
Probably 1968
or before,
or 67 or 68. Because I was in Vietnam. I got there in December of 67, and I probably got that from my father around Easter time, April, I think, of 68. So, and he cut it out. It was a newspaper. This guy had I guess like an editorial that he did plenty of, and I've read a few other things, but I can't remember them.
So it is rather obscure. I mean, he was a local newspaper, or
it was in the Beaver Valley Times.
Oh my goodness!
Back in Beaver, Pennsylvania. So.
But we could, you could find.
You can research him.
I'm sure you can
Ben
find
Burroughs.
it. Ben Burroughs.
I think it's B-O-U-R, Burrow, like a burrow.
Yeah. B-O-R-R-O-W.
No. Like in Pennsylvania, we have boroughs.
Okay.
New York has boroughs. We have boroughs, cities, and townships. So it was Beaver Borough that we lived in, but the man's name was Ben Burroughs. I should have. It's back in my room somewhere. It's in a drawer with all my other prayers of things that was sent to me in Vietnam. I carried it with me. I still carry it to this day when I go on a trip. So.
Awesome. And so, carry the mementos and, relive the good and go back.
Well, you talk about relive the good. Another thing, my father sent me a newspaper clipping. It was a sundial and a picture. And it said, "Be like a sundial, only record the sunny moments." So that's another way I've lived that. My father was a dynamic guy. He could do anything, fix anything. I remember him doing a double backflip off a 12-foot dive one time when we were on vacation. I was about 13, so he had to be in his 40s.
Wow.
But I don't do those things anymore. Too easy to get hurt.
So what's next in your adventure in your life? Did you want to share some experiences?
No, hey, I'm like the turtle that got to the top of the hill. I flipped over, and I'm riding down on my back, just taking it easy. I'm involved in a few things still actively, but my main focus now is my family, which, being in the Marine Corps, they probably were neglected for years, but
awesome.
I'm just cruising.
Well, you have a wonderful wife. It's Kathy.
Kathy,
Yeah.
with a K.
But Kathy with a K. And she goes to a lot of things with you. We were at Sojourners together.
Well, right now she's in San Diego. She's the past high priestess for the Ladies Oriental Shrine of North America, and their Supreme Council is in San Diego. And she's there with all her friends from Hawaii and elsewhere around the country. They have a class for their year that they're the high priestess. So she's with her friends out there.
Well, that's another thing we have in common. I lived in Kona for about 20 years. I graduated from Kona Waina High School and lived there. I did visit the Kona Lodge. They don't have a number. That's an interesting story.
Yeah. None of the lodges in Hawaii have numbers because they came under, the lodge I belonged to in Hawaii came under the Grand Lodge of France, then California, and then they became their own Grand Lodge in the late 80s. But when they came under California, they were 379, and Honolulu Lodge, which was chartered, I think, under California, was number 22. So no one could decide who was the oldest lodge, so they came to a compromise, and there are no lodge numbers in Hawaii.
That's just like the Hawaiians, so.
Hey, that was fair,
So aloha. Why don't you just be Honolulu? We'll be Kona. You guys be Hilo.
Well, there's only
East Side.
there's only 10 lodges in Hawaii, I think. Or 11, might be 11 now.
And they're just the towns.
Well, 4 of the lodges meet right in Honolulu at the same place.
Well, there's plenty of names.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Got Lodge Le Progrès de l'Oceanie, which was my lodge. Means Progress of the Ocean. It was founded on a French sailing vessel. And then you got Maui Lodge. Well, they came under the Grand Lodge of Scotland, I'm pretty sure. So then you got Kona, Hilo, Pearl Harbor, Honolulu. I think.
Now, is there a mixture of ancient free and accepted and the free and accepted?
No, it's all. Geez, I don't even remember.
F and AM.
It's free and accepted Masons, and then we recognize Prince Hall also.
So you spend most of your time with becoming Grand Line in Hawaii, or?
Well, I went through the chapter, the council here. And then when I got to Hawaii, I had the opportunity to get in the Grand Line, and I did. And I finished. I knew I was going to Hawaii, so I didn't pursue getting in the commandery here. But I did the commandery in Hawaii, and then I did all three of the grand bodies.
In York, right?
Yeah.
Now,
Not past Grand Master, but I'm a past District Deputy Grand Master for the 4th District here in North Carolina.
Yeah,
which
that's
was a
what
great
I meant.
3 years of meeting wonderful people. And that kind of led to me meeting one of my best friends and brothers in Hawaii. There's a Mason up in Beaufort, Franklin Lodge, and his son was in Hawaii, and he wanted me to go meet him and introduce him to Freemasonry. And when I got there, he was already to go get his fellow craft.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I thought, hey, you need to call your dad, and he did. And his dad flew over for his raising. And now this brother is a 33rd degree.
Wow.
He is...
That was kind of quick, though.
Yeah.
Usually that
Well,
takes a little while.
He's got a PhD in psychology.
Okay, yeah.
He is now a commander in the U.S. Public Health Service. So...
I was raised in Franklin Lodge with Steve Springle as the coach.
Yeah, I know Steve, yeah.
Yeah, well, I was there when he died. It was just after COVID, and I probably haven't recorded this story. I was chaplain, and it was during the closing prayer. And right after COVID, we didn't go to the altar, and Steve was, of course, secretary, and I'm sitting I'm not sitting, I'm standing at the chaplain's place, and I'm saying the closing prayer, and he starts coughing. I don't know what to think, and I try to maybe just hurry and finish the prayer, and before I even finish, people are asking if he's okay, so I hurry up and finish, and right after, so mote it be, amen, he falls.
Wow.
He falls out, and it was, we were there for a while, but he went quick and doing what he loved.
I remember Franklin Lodge real well because of that one friend I mentioned. Plus, I remember Lee Jones was your secretary for a while.
Yeah, Lee, I know Lee.
And I'm proud to say I am an honorary member of Franklin Lodge. So.
That's awesome. You're probably honorary member a lot of places.
Nah, only a few.
Yeah.
And that I attribute that to when I was District Deputy Grand Master. I visited every lodge at least once a month, and yeah.
Now, does that even calculate? Can you visit every?
Yeah.
Well, let's say there's 30 days. Say there's 30 days in the week, month, and they meet on different days. So yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's busy though.
Yeah, my wife and I were dating at the time, and I guess she was already a Masonic widow. She only saw me on the weekends. And on the weekends, I'd take her to dinners, barbecues, fundraisers. So she got initiated into Masonry pretty quick.
Well, that's
one of the
awesome.
first dates we had was a good friend of mine, and I think it was his 80th birthday, and it was being held at Lafayette Lodge, and I took her there, and that was her. I think that was the first time that we just weren't on a date somewhere, where we were with a bunch of my brothers and sisters.
Well, that's beautiful. If it'd be nice, we'd all have wives as supportive as Kathy is with a K. Yeah, she's
Well,
awesome.
she's been the president for the Beauseant and the secretary or recorder for the Beauseant.
See, I don't even know what that is.
The Beauseant is the ladies group that supports the Knight Templars.
Really?
Yeah.
So I'm a Knights Templar.
Yeah, and they used to have a Beauseant, but you know, these women are getting old. We had one woman in Hawaii was like 90-some years old, and she'd come and sit at the end of the table. But yeah, the Beauseants, and there's still Beauseant. If you get your Knight Templar magazine, in the back you'll see pictures of the Beauseant ladies.
Okay.
And
maybe I didn't know how to pronounce it.
yeah, well, the Beauseant's the flag for the Knight Templar. But yeah, she's also a worthy matron, which led to me being worthy patron for the second time. And let's see, what else she do? Yeah, she's in the Daughters of the Nile. She didn't pursue the line there. So yeah, she's been active in Masonry.
The Beauseant. So is there a chapter anywhere around?
I don't know. I know they had one, the Hawaii one folded because the ladies are getting older. They need so many to open, you know, just like us, we need so many to open. They didn't have enough. So Hawaii merged with Las Vegas. So my wife is now a member of the Las Vegas, what do they call it? It's not a chapter, well, I can't remember.
Yeah.
It's not a chapter, both the Beauseant, I don't know.
Yeah.
It might be assembly. I'm not sure.
Awesome.
I got enough to try to remember what I am.
I know it is. You got so much going on, and I even forgot something you had already mentioned. I wanted to ask about, but yeah, you've had a very interesting life, and you know it's time to relax and enjoy the ride till you know eternity. And I mean you're a good man, and I appreciate you. And so we've got wisdom that you know you've incorporated, and maybe you've seen some of the craziness. I do the end segment, so we go with you know how you got. Well, how did you get into Masonry? Was your
Well, my
you
uncles,
first.
my cousins were Freemasons, and I knew that. My one uncle, I have his ring that I used to wear all the time. It was a 32nd degree ring. My aunts were in the Eastern Star, and I knew all this. And I knew I had to ask, but I never had the time, because back then you had to be 21. I think you still might have to be in Pennsylvania, I'm not sure. But I never had the chance to ask anyone because of the jobs I had. Finally, I had an easy job, and there's a retired sailor I was working with. He was the representative for the Navy at Hickam Terminal, and I was the NCOIC for the Marines. And I saw his ring, and I said, "Gene, I see your ring, I'm ready." And the next day, he and I went to a ship and ate in the chief's mess with another fella, and he recommended me, and now that was May of 78 that I was initiated.
So while you were active duty,
I knew about Masonry, and I just
Waiting
never
for
had
the right time.
opportunity. Well, I was waiting for when I had time, because I was a drill instructor. I worked on Admiral McCain's staff, which was interesting. I found out later he was a Freemason, and when I became a Freemason in Hawaii, some of the chiefs and senior chiefs and warrant officers that treated me really, really good as a sergeant, I found out they're Freemasons, and I was attending lodge with them when I went back to Hawaii like 5 years later. So
good people.
on the level.
Absolutely. Absolutely good people.
But then again, they were good to me because I worked for the Admiral. So, and that was a unique experience. 4 years working with John McCain Jr. His son is actually the third. the one that just died. And his father, the John McCain Sr., was a Freemason. And he died right after the surrender of the Missouri.
Now there was a senator.
Yeah, John Sidney McCain III.
The third.
The third.
Okay.
But he never used the third because both his grandfather and father were passed away. So, but actually, John Sidney McCain, the senator, was the third. Four-star admiral who commanded carriers, and he was an aviator like John III. He was a Freemason, and then John Jr., who I worked for, was a submariner, and he was a Freemason. And his wife just died, I think, a year or two ago at 100, I think she's 108.
Wow.
And that's one of the things John McCain III said when they asked him about his age. He said, well, just go over and ask my 92-year-old mother. Yeah, so.
And she's doing well.
No, she passed away about 2 years ago.
But she was good health.
Oh, yes, yeah, she was in,
Yeah.
as far as I know, she's in pretty good health.
Not like what's going on now, but
Yeah.
something's on. So do you work with the VA at all?
No.
I have been.
I'm a life member of the DAV, but my life has been focused on masonry.
Yeah.
I mean, since I retired in 97, I retired in New Orleans. I moved back up here in 98, and I was pretty active here. And then I went to Hawaii, and I was even more active because I had more time. But yeah, work is for people who don't have anything better.
Well, more like, getting medical, but you've got like TRICARE.
Yeah, I have TRICARE for life.
Yeah.
Which you got to pay for.
Yeah.
Actually, you don't pay for the TRICARE for life, but to be able to get your prescriptions and other things, you have to sign up for Medicare Part B. So.
And then you end up paying for that. I know how that is.
But that's all right. Fortunately, I'm healthy. And
you're blessed. You're doing well. You're blessed. And, got a good wife. I'm going to keep saying that. Well, I had some controversial stuff that I'd picked up from the VA the other. You probably don't want to see it.
I don't do controversy. If you want a positive life, you have to
stay away from that.
Stay away from negative aspects.
That is exactly what Fred Whitty, I did an interview with him. And I tried to get him, to talk about some stuff, and he was the same exact way. And I think that's a good way to be. I admire that. And I think I should emulate that more.
Well, when there's an open wound and you keep pouring salt on it, it just hurts more, so.
Well, let's talk vague. Let's talk vaguely. Say there's an issue, and it's coming up, and a lot of people want to say, no, I don't want anything to do with it. But somebody needs to stand up against it.
Well, I've done that, and I'll do that again. But I'm not going to focus on all this bad news. If there's something, it's just like the Serenity Prayer that AA uses.
Yeah.
Dear Lord, help me accept the things I can't change, change the things I can, and be wise enough to know the difference.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to try to break down somebody's front door when I can walk around the back or sneak in a window or wait for them to open it. I'm in no hurry.
Patience.
It's just like eating a sandwich. You don't cram it all in your mouth at one time. At least you shouldn't. You take a bite at a time, and finally you get to the culmination.
Enjoy it.
Exactly. So
I'm trying to work it out.
I wasn't always like this.
There's wisdom. I'm trying to gather. I'm trying to get it out there.
I used to. Well, Will Rogers said, "Never miss an opportunity." This is paraphrasing. Never miss an opportunity to keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
So like I said, if I can change it, I'm there. I'm not going to blow smoke. I'm not going to be the big bad wolf and try to blow down a brick building.
The wisdom to know the difference. To know what you can affect to know what you can change. I suppose not going after it is probably the wisdom, and waiting for it to come there, and then when you have to confront it. I guess that's the. But it seemed like it was kind of in my face, and I didn't want to let it go. But I've gotten these pamphlets from the VA, and it's regarding the gender thing, and what the VA does. They say there's 1 million of them that need this help, and I mean they do everything but surgery, just like in schools and health, all the health care. And it's, they're messing people up.
Well, I'm not going to get into that.
Okay.
I could tell you personally, but I'm not going to put it out to the world.
Okay, that's fine. I'm not. I want to be, and I want to be able to have a conversation with the opposing, with people that support.
Well, the thing is
that, and have that conversation without any conflict.
Yeah, well, you're going to have conflict. The thing is, you can't convince an idiot of the truth. So
that's it right there.
So my audience, or the people I hang around with, are people that are tolerant, but not aggressive.
That's good.
Surround yourself with the right people, and you'll have a happy life.
That's it. Yeah.
And there's no better group than Freemasons.
That's it.
So, and I belong to the Sojourners, so the military Masons, as you're aware of.
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
that's the best camaraderie that an individual can have.
I just joined, I think.
Yeah. They read your petition.
Oh, good.
So next meeting you should be there.
At Golden Corral.
Yes.
We won't get into that either. I haven't been there since Veterans Day of 2016, and they told me we're not celebrating it today. That's next week.
Yeah, and I don't know why they do that, but hey, at least they're doing it.
Yeah.
I've had birthdays and anniversaries and things that weren't celebrated on the day because of other commitments. So,
yeah,
especially when I was working, and so we'll wait till the weekend, and we don't have to worry about getting up on Saturday, or Sunday. So
it's all good. Well,
it's all good.
It's all good, and God is good, and we probably should have opened with a prayer, but we could close with a prayer.
I'm ready. My favorite one is I like prayers, not sermons.
Nice. Well, you want to say a little
May
prayer?
the Lord watch between me and thee while we're absent one from the other. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you.
Hey, no problem. So where can I see this at?
I'll show you.
I guess we're still on. Are you?